All right, I'm standing in the apartment here over by Welland Ave and James. And we're going to put 1, 2, 3 new blinds in, just the cheap vinyl blinds from Home Depot. Have them cut in store and then install them. We're going to just shut this door. We're going to go buy a PAX closet system, one of those like 4 or 5 foot wide kits that can go right up against this wall. We're going to just bury this door, and that'll be the closet for in this room. I want to insulate somehow this section, like just pack it with insulation to get rid of the dog sound from the barking. They haven't stopped in over an hour. I want to frame a wall in right here. We'll just come straight across with studs, safe and sound insulation, drywall on both sides, and I want it finished and painted on both sides and trimmed in so it's clean. I want all the trim anywhere you see in the whole apartment that needs DAP or caulking or dry decks. I want it caulked, DAPed, sanded, painted. This door, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see the hinges. I don't want to see the doorstop. And then I want it sanded and painted so it's just a passageway. I don't want it to be a door anymore. Coming into this living room area, this whole room needs to be painted. So first, flat white paint on the ceiling tiles. If you need a special trim clad paint on the metal, that's fine. Whatever, and then we'll just paint the rest of the tiles with a standard flat white. I want new bulbs in these lights, and I want 2 new plastic covers that are of this matte finish, similar to these 2. But I want all 4 of them to have that. So we need 2 new panels, and then all of them need new bulbs. And I want to make sure that the bulb light that we use matches the bulbs in the existing light so they don't look like a circus. Okay, you can see the lights in here are also okay, so that's not an issue for us to worry about. I want that mirror gone. I want these clips gone. Anything like that, I want them repaired. Maybe we can put a little access panel or some kind of a blank faceplate or something around circle 1 just to hide that ugly hole. Make it look like we have something in there we're covering up. We'll caulk the trim around the door here. The baseboards, again, as I mentioned earlier, faceplates, anywhere we need them. We're going to just leave the plugs and receptacles the way they are. We're not replacing them, but the walls all need to be painted. A nice, eggshell. The mirror gone, holes filled and cleaned up. All 3 of these blinds, I want them replaced, gone, and I want new measured blinds installed. Then I want this paneling. I want it all painted in a semi-gloss. It should probably be first primed with an oil-based primer, probably Kills, something like that, and then have a couple of coats of semi-gloss trim and door paint to match the doors and trim in the rest of the apartment. This blind, I think, is okay. It just needs to be cleaned on this window. Coming into the kitchen here, everything looks pretty good. We just need to have these holes dapped and dry decked and painted. We need a piece of trim up there that's missing and a few coats of paint on the actual trim itself. But any of those gaps, I want them caulked. Okay, I don't want to see all these black gaps everywhere, and then nice paint so that's nice and clean and finished. And probably a set of blinds on this window as well. I think we should buy a new blind of some kind for this door. So Alex, I hope you're keeping track of how many blinds we need so far. We'll have to add that up, how many windows we're buying blinds for. That's important. All right, we'll head into the bathroom. Okay, the bathroom essentially starts here, so that's why this is the lock. Coming in here, it's got a timer, which I actually think is really cool. It's great. I want to take that off, clean it, put it back on. I want to remove that. That's got to go. And then we're going to drywall repair behind it and then paint. I want new blinds in here for obvious reasons. There's a stairwell out there that should be a little more private. Or instead of screw it. We'll just do the blind. That's what we're going to do. We're going to clean all this. Obviously, the cleaning lady will do that, which isn't part of this quote. It's separate. But we're going to fix that, do some drywall repair, and then we're going to paint these walls the same paint color that we're doing in the other room. And then, of course, this passageway will touch up with new trim paint. And I think we should splash this ceiling with new flat white paint as well, because it just looks, as you can see, pretty rotten, and there's a lot of paint everywhere. And A little bit of drywall repair here too. Now as far as the showers goes, I just want some some caulking done around here and down there. Clean that up with white silicone just to make sure it's watertight, and then maybe some clear silicone after the painting is done. We can caulk that, make sure it's airtight and dry. But in here, it's actually really nice. The big thing it just needs really is a little bit of drywall repair around the top. Okay, some paint again once it's ready. We're gonna just replace the shower head. That's all it needs. And all new white silicone along the top and down the corners, in these corners as well, and on the base. So that's what we're gonna do down here. I'm heading down into the basement now. I want a handrail coming down on this wall. So we have that for safety. This whole apartment coming in all the way down, all the walls, everything needs to be painted down here. And including wherever there's drywalled ceilings, we need that painted. This needs a bunch of repair work, so we got to just do quite a bit amount of sheetrock and sanding, mudding, priming, painting, and all that stuff. Okay, we want to make sure we got warm LED pot lights in all of these pot light bulbs. We got a bad ceiling tile that's rotten, so I think we should replace that one, or at least take it off, paint it, put it back in with a flat white. Make sure all of these pot light bulbs are LED and they're matching and they're warm. That's important. And we're going to come in this bedroom. I want to put a nice vinyl click floor down with a transition strip and proper vent covers. So I see that there's at least one for sure that we need to put on there. Then we're going to cut a big hole out of here, and we're going to take, you'll see on the other side in a minute, the sliding glass closet doors are going to be used in here. If it's not possible, then we're just going to use 2 new bifold doors on this side, and we're going to close off the closet on the other side. We need a new blind on that window. We got to box this in and make it so it clicks nice and shut with some little ball clicks or something like that, something magnetic, whatever, with 2 little handles, nice little doors just to clean that up, close it off. Put an access panel on there. We'll box this in, put a little box around that, build it out of MDF or whatever. And then in the ceilings, I say we just drywall these ceilings, and we'll just put 2 flush mount lights in here. All right. And of course, then we have to paint these walls and just do the trim wherever the baseboards need to go. Now, coming into this room, again, as I mentioned earlier, all of these need to be painted everywhere. Some of the pot lights are kind of hanging funny. I want them to be adjusted. Every single pot light that isn't tight, I want it snug. You can kind of see that with all of them. Now, coming into the actual apartment, I want to get rid of this thing, and I want to just drywall this over. I want to put an access panel wherever it's the most intelligent place for an access panel for the wiring, and then just drop a pot light in there that's on the same circuit as the existing light that we're going to get rid of that's up in there. This is the closet I was talking about in the bedroom. So we're going to try to use these mirrors if we can, the mirror doors. If not, and if it's too much trouble, then we'll just use new bifolds. But we're going to drywall this in, and we're going to trim it in a way that somehow looks good and ties into the tile. And then basically we're just going to knock open that wall on the back side and flip it. So the closet will be accessible from the bedroom as opposed to out here. All right. Now, over here, we're going to install a dishwasher, so we need plumbing. Hopefully that plug is enough to support the load, which I think it should be. It's probably why it's there. And install a new dishwasher, hook up the plumbing. Everything else down here is fine. I think this isn't vented, so we got to put a carbon filter in here. Make sure that this is working, which it looks like it is. Yeah. Although, yeah, it's working. So it needs a carbon filter. Another example of the pot lights not really doing as good as they should in terms of staying up. There's an example of one that looks nice. That's how they should all look. Okay. Coming into the bathroom, we're going to basically the bathroom's in great shape. We're not going to do much in here other than, put a fresh coat of paint on the walls and new silicone caulking all the way along here. And that'll make it look a lot nicer. A new set of blinds on there. Again, there's no privacy for coming in and out of the tub. And then I want new white silicone caulking going around the base of the tub. Okay, all the way down and along the bottom. I don't think that the corners of the tile grout and everything needed. I think it's in really good shape just the way it is. And I think it would be an intelligent idea to take some clear silicone caulk around that pot light just to make sure no moisture gets in there. Okay. Not sure what to do with all those cable wires. Maybe we just make a slightly bigger hole in the wall, shove them all in there, and then put an access panel. I think that's the best option for now. Unless if the landlord tells me they're useless, then we'll just rip them out and cut them off and fix the hole in the wall. We've got some ceiling tiles that need paint in here. This will be in the extras column. We can do some digging around up there and see if there's any plumbing repairs that are needed above us. Probably in the shower, I'm guessing. And whatever that is, we'll fix it. But it will be extra outside of the quote. But in the meantime, we should take these tiles down, or at least while they're sitting up here, we should paint them with the oil-based primer, clean it up, make sure we cover this so it doesn't get any drips on it and the floor. We don't want oil getting on anything. And seal it, paint it, or put brand new tiles in. But I think the easiest, quickest thing, since we have the paint out anyway, is just to paint them. That should probably also be an LED light as well. So just in total in the basement, in terms of blinds, we need 1, 2, 3 in the bedroom, 4, 5 in total. So 5 sets of blinds down here, plus whatever we had going upstairs. I think this should have a little dummy knob on it with a little clicker so it stays shut, just so this is usable for space storage and it stays shut. And like I said, we're going to paint all these walls. It'll look nice. And that is that.